Zach, do you have the man flu?
No, I just have a cold. Thank you.
Well, Joanna, what is the man flu? You want to explain to us what it is?
As far as I know, a man flu is when a guy is as sick as a woman, but is like far more dramatic about it.
And most
like
men,
very
most
debilitated.
of us are that way. Yeah.
Or like maybe it's not compared to, but just you're totally out of commission when you have a cold.
Yeah.
Not Zach though.
Nope,
because he's here recording.
Yeah.
We don't know what he's like in his private life.
Well,
the good news is
was
you're
Caitlin's
3,000
birthday,
miles away, so I'm pretty sure I can't pass this on to any of you.
Yeah, true. All right, ready to get rolling?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
From VinePair's New York City headquarters, I'm Adam Teeter.
And I'm Joanna Sciarrino.
And in Seattle, Washington, I'm Zach Jabal.
And this is the VinePair podcast. All right. I mean, it's been a while since we talked about what we've been drinking.
Yes, it has
There's a whole
been.
Thanksgiving break to take advantage of, plus a week after that as well.
Yep.
I feel like I'm expecting some big things here from you
You
people.
are?
Yeah.
From you people. Well,
So-
okay.
Would you like to go first?
Oh, I'll go first because
Oh,
I feel like
please.
Zach has big things to talk about.
Yeah.
Or more exciting things to talk about. Yeah, so...
Joanna had some craft beer from her local brewery. No, what did you?
Oh, I was like, did I? No, we had a very... I survived Thanksgiving,
Yes.
I should say, and nobody really drank much. The things that were...
You said that was going to happen.
Yes, that were requested were consumed, so the Bloody Marys. My parents, had their cold vodka martinis.
They had those.
Mm-hmm.
You made those with dinner, with lunch?
Yeah,
Or prior?
they had it at like 1 p.m.
Wow.
But that was also all they had pretty much, and maybe like a little bit of wine after
Okay.
that. And then some wine was consumed. We had the Big Table Farm
I love those wines,
Pinot
yeah.
Noir and the Arabilis Pinot
Yep.
Noir, also Willamette. And that was pretty much it. And then I was just like so tired. You guys were like, go make yourself a cocktail
Yeah.
after Thanksgiving. And I was like just so tired. And
Went to bed.
we watched some content and then went to bed.
Well, I just want to say I appreciated the like various stages of our various Thanksgiving dinners because
Yeah.
both Adam and I were still cooking when you're like, yeah, everyone's gone. Like, we're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Exactly.
fair enough.
Yeah. And then on Friday, we made airmails. I made
Ooh,
airmails.
how are
'cause
they?
it was good. Yeah, I've never had it before. So it's like a daiquiri / French 75 mix. So rum, honey syrup, lime, and then champagne or Prosecco or whatever. I had an open bottle of Prosecco from the day before. So
Oh, cool.
yeah. So that was good. And that was like kind of it. Nothing else too exciting since went to a cool event for Maison Ferrand the other night for like a holiday party that was really neat. And they had like cool punch. I had a Tom and Jerry for
I
the
like
first
Tom and
time.
Jerry.
I don't think I've ever had one before.
I think Tom
It's
and
a
Jerry
very
is superior.
elaborate thing to make.
It's superior to the eggnog.
Yeah, like the batter and then and it's hot and anyway.
They're good.
Yeah, it was good. So
You got it in the mug?
yes, and like they had them in like little cappuccino mugs. It was
That's
very
cool.
cute. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's kind of been it. It's
Cool.
been a blur. You know?
It's been a blur.
Yeah.
That is this
What
time
about
of the
you,
year
Zach?
in a nutshell. Just a
Yeah.
little blur.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Thanksgiving was good. We had a magnum of sparkling wine, Blanc de Blanc from Treveri Cellars here in
Wow.
Washington. Felt like, after talking about magnums, it was kind of the time. And then, the conversation about drinking American wine on the day made sense to me too. So I'm not a big drinking crowd in general. Like my brother-in-law and Caitlin and I had some scotch afterwards, but mostly like a magnum of sparkling wine got us through just fine.
Yeah.
And then also had dinner out at my dad's a couple days later. And it's funny, I actually brought out also a wine from Big Table Farm, although in this case, a Syrah that they make from fruit that they get from the Rocks District, which is technically in Oregon, just across the border. And that was really good too. And then the big event besides Thanksgiving was, as we record this yesterday, was Caitlin's birthday.
All
She
right.
turned 40, big year. So busted out a birth year bottle of Barbaresco from Alfredo Roca, a producer that I don't think actually exists anymore. So, this happens sometimes. And I will say, like, I gave her the necessary caveats beforehand. I was like, look, I bought a few of these bottles from a distributor who was looking to liquidate some of their older product. It was like, I have no idea, but it was for a now 40-year-old bottle of Barbaresco was not super expensive, and we'll give it a shot. And it was fine. It was not dead, which was great. It was a
that's
little
good.
tired, and it did take some time. Once it had, some air. It was a little more, there was a little more going on there. Couldn't kind of chase the sense of like, with older wine, sometimes I get this like real pronounced note of like apple core, like, oxidizing apple. And like, it's a little, it's not really what I want in a red wine, to be clear. Like in white wines, it's a little less bothersome to me, but that was definitely going on. But in general, it was cool. She never had a wine from her birth year before that wasn't port. So cool chance to try that. And yeah, it was nice.
Cool.
And then next time we talk, or next time we have a Monday episode, you'll hear all about her party, which is still to come as we record this and in the past for those of you listening to it.
Oh, very cool.
What about you, Adam?
So
wait, tell me about the tailgate. Honestly, more than your Thanksgiving. That's what I want to hear about.
I mean, the tailgate was like full of, first of all, it's my brother's tailgate, guys. Let's just be clear. So I had no control of the alcohol.
Yes. Adam's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So there were fireball shots.
Yeah.
Someone brought out like Dickel bourbon, then people were shooting that. Maker's 47. There was lots of Coors, original Coors.
Okay. Ooh.
Some Coors Light. Lots and lots and lots of Surfside, which I thought was so interesting that it's like infiltrated the South.
Yeah.
Like, because Ben's, like I said.
Not High Noon.
No, only Surfside.
Whoa.
I've seen it now, like Ben's, his in-laws, they're all from Alabama.
Right.
And so a lot of people that were there were like Amber's family and friends, and they're the ones that brought the Surfside, like really into it. So I'm like, wow, this brand is exploding so fast. I saw it all over campus too. I saw some High Noon, but I really saw Surfside.
How does it compare price-wise, I wonder?
I think it's similar. People like that it doesn't have carbonation. I kept asking, what do you like about it? It doesn't have carbonation.
You're going around polling
Yeah,
people.
like, well, people that were drinking it, I was like, they're like, oh my God, I love this. I'm like, what do you like about it? Oh, I love that it doesn't have carbonation. Because to me, it has a little bit of a like Diet Coke, like saccharine aftertaste that I don't find pleasurable. But that's what keeps the calories low. But
it's like stevia sweetened or something.
So I was surprised about that. My brother always has lots of IPAs. There's some Space Dust and stuff there. So that was consumed. And then in the game, what was weird for me is this is the first year, so I've never seen this before, that Auburn sells alcohol in the stadium. So there was beer, which was just weird to me because I've never gone to see an Auburn game and had a beer.
Well, like local beer? Or
I'm sure that...
I thought that was part of the initiative, that a lot of these college stadiums were like partnering with local breweries.
Auburn's not gotten there yet. I think they are the last SEC school to sell beer in the stadium.
Okay, got it.
Auburn's a very conservative place. So the new athletic director who came in like 2 or 3 years ago, I think, finally convinced the school like we're leaving a lot of money on the table. And I saw beer everywhere. They're very strict about the 2 minimum. You can only buy 2 when you go to buy beer.
They're the big ones.
No, they're like medium size, like more like they're like aluminum but bottle shaped. They were not huge. They were not huge.
I know this, yeah.
They are being very cautious, I think, still. I've heard at other stadiums, they're already selling the big ones. But again, like I said, Auburn's more of a conservative place. So they're like trying to thread the needle. But I'm like, again, you're leaving money on the table because if not, all these people are just going to go into the bathroom stalls like they have for the last 100 years and drink minis.
Right.
And you're going to just have a pile of minis behind the toilets. Because that's what that was my normal college football experience. It's like, and memories. Like, even as a little kid, like being like, Dad, what's all these bottles on the floor in the bathrooms?
So funny.
And people going in and like dumping the whiskey and stuff into their Cokes. So
that's just smart.
Yeah. That's just good. That's just good sense. The other thing I thought was interesting is my parents took us to a restaurant in town called the War Eagle Supper Club, which is named after a very famous music venue in Auburn that doesn't exist anymore. But what I found interesting was they had a cocktail on the menu that I got. And it was good, but I was like, is this okay? They did this? It was called so Auburn, for whatever reason, has always been known as the Plains.
Okay.
So like it's part like, you're like, people are like, oh, we're on the plains. But it is not the plains, by the way, y'all, just so you know. But like in Alabama, it's the plains. And so you would like welcome to the plains where Auburn is playing Alabama, whatever. So like men who go to Auburn are plainsmen.
Okay.
Okay, whatever. So they had a cocktail on the menu called a paper plainsman. So it's just a paper plane.
Right.
And I was like, is that okay? They did that?
They didn't riff on it at all?
No, it's just a paper plane.
Okay.
And so I was like, is this kosher?
Clever.
Clever, but like, I don't know. I feel like there might be a letter from someone we know being sent to the Graduate Hotel in Auburn, Alabama.
That was a Graduate Hotel.
Yeah, and it was their their upstairs restaurant called War Eagle Supper Club. But yeah, it's like I don't think that's okay.
I think it's funny.
I thought it was funny, but I was also like, you should say Paper Plainsman, inspired by I don't know. It's just like maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I think that's just us.
Yeah.
Sure, so many
they're probably like, I didn't even know
shit.
this was a cocktail anyone can. And then most memorable bottle was a bottle of Chateau Montelena's Zinfandel.
Oh, nice.
That we had with Thanksgiving. That was great. And otherwise, my parents always get good stuff. We had some nice bottles of champagne. And it was great. So we're going to talk today about the top 50 spirits of the year list that we just came out with. We're going to bring on Aaron Goldfarb and say goodbye to Zach. But before we bring on Aaron, 'cause I'm sure Zach has some thoughts, let me hear what you thought about the list.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. As I said, when we talked about the top 50 wines list, to get a sense of what you all in New York and the tastings panel and all that are kind of pulling out of the year in spirits and highlighting and really taking note of. And, I think a couple of things that jumped out to me, as has been, I think, a kind of a trend over the last couple of years is, a lot of kind of conversation around barrel finishes, in particular, like distinctive barrel finishes. I'm sure Aaron will talk more about that, especially with whiskey, but not exclusively with whiskey. Continuing to see a lot of really interesting things in agave. Several of the tequilas that were singled out are produced with the agave being crushed by Tahona, which I think is also really interesting, having more and more of that enter the conversation around tequila and not just from the standpoint of, I think sometimes when we talk about tequila and quality and those things, the conversation kind of gets really funneled through the additive-free conversation or that lens. And that's fine. That's an interesting and valid way to talk about it. But I think sometimes it's also worth talking about production methodology and really in this specific case of using Tahonas or not, how that really does come through in the flavor of the spirit. And some, might lean that direction in preference. Some folks might actually find it a little less enjoyable than a more kind of mechanically produced tequila. And then I think a couple of other things that I enjoyed, obviously just the length and breadth of gin and where it's being made. Obviously, it's cool to see Japanese gin on there. I was personally enjoyed seeing Edinburgh gin on there because I happened to be at the distillery earlier this year, which was cool. And just again, it's this cool idea of like kind of this the spread of and the ability of gin in particular to be this template for expression of all these different places. And again, not a totally brand new thing, but I think was well reflected on the list again this year. And then the last thing I wanted to ask you guys was, I'm very curious about this Pandem liqueur. Like, tell me about it.
Yeah, so the Kota liqueur is a pandan liqueur that was developed by
Nico de Soto.
Yes, Nico de Soto, and
who's a very famous bartender from Paris.
Yes,
also is Mace in New York City.
Yeah, yes. Basically, like he kind of pioneered using pandan in cocktails and made it and popularized it, and so he's like created this this liqueur that it's like very, very delicious. It's sweet. We just found it so interesting, right? And thought it would be really cool to include on the list as kind of like a wild card pick because it's such a thoughtful product and really cool for people who are interested in like making cocktails and kind of adding that element to making drinks. So it's really delicious. It's so sweet.
It is. It's very delicious. It's sweet. I think it's interesting that like someone who's he really has become known for that. I mean. So it's funny that he's like, and you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to make a pandan liqueur.
Sure. Yeah,
smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Didn't exist, right?
Imagine,
it was one of the first,
Yeah. I can imagine being one of those things too, where if you're the certain kind of person who wants to have, some cool bottles at home and you want to make a drink for someone that just slightly disorients them because it has a note that they're not going to place very easily, that feels like a very fun way to do that. So
yeah, it's such
as
a
someone
delicious
who's
flavor
oriented
too.
that way, I might have to go pick a bottle up. We'll see.
Yeah.
You should.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Ancho Reyes, right? It's such a unique product that is like bartenders love Ancho Reyes as a result of that, right? So
love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Zach, we're going to bring Aaron on and we'll talk to you on Thursday.
Sounds great.
Have a nice week, Zach.
Hey, Tater Time. What's going on, Aaron Goldfarb?
What's up? Have you been filming Tailgaters episodes without me?
I have not. Why?
I thought you were tailgating.
I
Tailgater
was.
guy.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Bringing it back.
Although, yeah, no top 50 spirits of the year at that tailgate.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of not the place for it.
No, not at all. So shots of Fireball, though.
Never
Minis.
hurts. Never hurts. Never hurts.
Minis. So, top 50 spirits list is out live. People can read it. Spearheaded by you.
A lot of reading.
So I thought it was interesting what you said in the beginning of the piece, which is like there's been a lot of negative press over the last year plus, right? About how spirits are, fucked.
About drinking.
Yeah. But that you think it's one of the most exciting times for spirits because of all the really cool stuff that's available. What is your perspective there?
I mean, the thing is, if you're just an average Joe who likes to drink whatever spirit, you're not reading the business section and go, oh, cognac sales are down in China.
Right.
Who cares if it's delicious? Oh, bourbon's peaked. I don't care. It's still good. So we live in a weird world where we have to care about the business aspect and, what's being produced. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter. If they're still producing it, it's a good thing. And if sales are kind of going bad, the last time this happened was in the 80s. It just led to some really great stuff being produced.
Yeah.
Because they could afford to age it for longer or to produce the best stuff possible. So, it's still a great time to drink, even if, a lot of the multinational conglomerates might be struggling.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your favorite spirit on the list this year?
My favorite spirit or the number one spirit?
No, your favorite.
Your favorite.
Oh, gee. It depends on the category.
What are you most excited about? Category-wise, what are you most excited about?
Last year, I didn't do the list last year. Our spirit director emeritus did, but we were very excited about cognac last year, and I think cognac's still very exciting. There's a $700 single malt on the list, the Artist Glenbergie 28-year-old, and that's over $700.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, that was number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the list is a 35-year-old cognac for $190.
Yeah.
So cognac continues to be the place where you're getting incredibly aged spirits for pretty reasonable prices.
But what do you think it is that's turning people off from these super aged cognacs? Do you think that most people just don't know about them?
I think the struggle is it's harder. You can remember, Eagle Rare, go get some Eagle Rare. The cognac, which I love. I even forget the name every time. The Ragnud Sabarin Fontevielle number 35. You're not going to remember, hey, when you're at the store, would you pick me up that Ragnud 30?
Yeah.
So I think it's a struggle. The labels are still very old school. Tim McCurdy and I joke, if you go into a liquor store and you see a real classic label of really old cognac, it's probably kind of good.
I think cognac struggles from the brands that everybody knows.
Yeah,
that's the
what
problem. All the most famous brands are, I'm sorry to say, a little boring.
Yeah, a very different drinking experience that you're gonna get from the
mom and pop brands.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why. And people just I think consumers just don't
There's
really.
a weird world. Tequila kind of suffered from that too. There was kind of nightclub tequila and then connoisseur tequila, which kind of still exists. Cognac's never been able to have a Fortaleza of cognac, though.
You need that, though.
You need the Fortaleza of cognac.
You need the Fortaleza of cognac. Who wants to be that? Let us know.
Let's start a company, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. In terms of, tequila, we were talking to Zach about this before you came on. It feels like there's even more people that are trying to push tequilas forward that are using more artisanal processes in order to make them. And that's definitely represented in this list, using, Tahona, et cetera, becoming just as important as making mezcal. And that even seems to be more important to some consumers than the additive free stuff, right? It's how's it actually being made? And I'm curious if you sort of feel like that is making a difference in the final product.
Yeah, I mean, just like cognac, there's the mainstream brands everyone's heard of that every bar has that kind of taste like vanilla frosting. And then there are the brands that, have a massive paragraph on the back label about how we found the agave, how we used mallets. We had to crush the agave so hard that our mezcaleros' fingers don't even work anymore.
Yeah.
It matters. And we can act like it's a gimmick, but it works. You use this, classic distillation, these artisanal methods. If you like the taste of agave,
Right. You're going to like it.
It works. And our top tequila was the Tequila Rete Suave Blanco. That's their more artisanal line, and pretty fairly priced and easy to find. It's if you've never been able to find a Fortaleza, look at a Rete. It's additive free and it's unbelievable.
It's great. Yeah, it's a great tequila.
Just on the note of tequila, when we were tasting for this list, I feel like we were really attracted to the Blancos, and we do have an aged tequila on the list, but only one. And I don't know. I think that's interesting to talk about. Like you get such, obviously, like everybody talks about the Blanco being the purest expression that you're going to get from any brand, but
you talk to most distillers, and that's what they say too.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because I was spearheading it. I prefer Blanco. I sip Blanco neat. I think a lot of people in their head think clear spirits are cocktail spirits, aged spirits are neat sipping spirits. Real tequila nerds, we drink the Blanco neat. As you said, I think we had 3 or 4 Blancos on the list.
Yeah.
And then one only aged spirit. I'm not anti-aged tequila, but, I want to taste agave when I drink a tequila.
Right.
And sometimes the barrel can cover that up.
So what is it? What was it about this one aged tequila, the Don Fulano, that you think, made it worthy of the list then?
The Don Fulano balances that really kind of thread the needle between you get the barrel character and you get the cooked agave character. It's not just tasting like wood and caramel and oak. You can get the kind of vegetal notes that people love in agave. It's a very hard needle to thread, and they did it when a lot of others can't.
I feel like the aged expressions are also very expensive. They tend to be more expensive, and then it's like, is this really worth the price?
And an extra añejo, which I think the Don Fulano might only be 5, 6, 7 years old. Right. I just told you can get a 35-year-old Cabernet for $190. If you're someone who cares about like age to cost, tequila is not necessarily the place. I've never necessarily favored them either. I like the Blancos, as I said, but there is some good age stuff out there, and the Don Fulano is fantastic.
So I want to call attention to one thing, which is that at your insistence, we put a celebrity spirit on the list.
It wasn't my insistence.
And
I think we all insisted on it
I didn't know that you loved celebrities' spirits so much that one of them made the list. So what is this celebrity spirit that made the list?
Well, he's probably not a celebrity unless you're our age, because he hasn't been famous since about Rocky IV, 1985. That's, the great Dolph Lundgren. Ivan Drago, I will break you. Yes. I must break you. Insert that into the footage, a clip, if we can clear it with Paramount or whoever. No, as we did in America, we made Dolph Lundgren a Soviet boxer. He's actually Swedish. And his tequila's from Idaho. So go figure.
No, it's vodka.
It's vodka, I'm sorry, yeah. Idaho russet potatoes filtered through Rocky Mountain spring water. We just had an article about this, that vodka doesn't have to be odorless and flavorless. And indeed, this is not. You get a lot of floral notes on it. I think we described it as potpourri, almost gin-like notes, no juniper, but just like a lot of floral notes. And then the mouthfeel is just so appealing. It's like rich and creamy, and it's wonderful. I would definitely make a few ice cold martinis as I blew through the entire Rocky portfolio and caught up with Ivan Drago and Clubber Lang and Apollo Creed and all those guys.
What's the vodka called?
Hard cut.
Hard cut. It's also a beautiful bottle.
It's a good looking bottle. So you see a good looking
$30.
You see a good looking bottle promoted by a good looking celebrity, and you go, "There's no way." Way, dude.
It's $30, right?
It's $30.
It's great.
That's crazy.
It's great.
It tasted really good.
I think it made our top 10.
Yes, it did.
Well, another bourbon that made the list that you mentioned to me during the tasting used to not get a lot of tater love, and now some taters are coming back to it, was Larceny.
I even ignored Larceny for a long time. Heaven Hill generously sends me just about every release. And I thought in my head, well, this is maybe, their lesser stuff. And then one day I opened a bottle. I was like, wow, this is spectacular weeded bourbon.
Yeah.
Very well priced. I think it's technically allocated. They have 3 releases a year. Everyone goes crazy for their old Fitzgerald releases, which I believe is the same mash bill. And those deserve the acclaim as well. But man, the larceny, if they called it Old Fitzgerald larceny, you
Probably
would
sell
not,
out.
you
Yeah.
would not see it. It's fantastic stuff. I forget the barrel number or whatever of what we rated high, but all these larceny barrel proof releases are unbelievable.
B65 or something, right?
No, I think they do. It really does fly under the radar. I think, especially for people who think they're looking for that like Pappy style weeded bourbon, it's this one brand that like you can still find and is very delicious, and people still are kind of sleeping on it.
It's high proof, it's barrel proof, it's pretty drinkable at the proof, decent looking bottle, and under $100. I don't think you're going to struggle to find it necessarily. It's unbelievable stuff, every release.
And we got shit on for one other bourbon that we added to the list.
Can we actually talk about bourbon? So in years past, and you acknowledge this somewhere in the list, I don't remember. It was very long, as you said.
6,000 words.
Yeah.
He knows. He's paid, by the way.
Yes, in the past, he's not. We don't do that. That bourbon has ranked far higher than it did this year. The first one we had, or the highest ranking one, was at 7. And why do you think that was this year?
I don't know. I mean, you know, you look at other categories like mezcal and rum and cognac. There's a really, even, Scotch, there's a really wide flavor profile. Bourbon's always, kind of tight.
Right.
So, if you're someone like me or you guys who've been drinking it for 2 decades, at a certain point, perhaps it becomes unexciting. I don't know. It doesn't mean I'm not excited by things that come out. Our top bourbon was a Booker's. Which, people in the comments on Instagram are already getting pissed off at.
Yeah.
It can't be Booker's. I waited in line for 2 days for some BTAC.
Yeah.
Confirm that my BTAC is worth it.
That's basically what that is.
Right, exactly. Booker's is $100 bourbon. It's been around for 40 years. Semi-allocated, but you're going to find it. People were furious when it got bumped to $100. I think it was $40 at one point, then $70.
Wow.
It's always good to grade, but I thought this year's Jimmy's Batch, named after Wild Turkey's master distiller Jimmy Russell, was, Booker's at the highest level, and it was my favorite bourbon of the year, and I think the other tasters agreed with me.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's one of these things where the taters, they need to be reinforced that the ones that they are like coveting will always be at the top. And I think that a lot of that is now just hype, just like everything else, right? It's hype and demand, et cetera. But like, it's okay to admit that sometimes the stuff that comes out of Buffalo Trace is not the best compared to other stuff. It's okay.
I mean, they should be excited. Oh, wow. I don't have to go buy whatever.
Blanton's.
I can just go buy this Booker's.
Yeah.
People are likewise probably pissed at our number 1 pick, Old Potrero California Cellar Series Rye, which, I've touted for the last 6 months or whatever. Sorry, it's a San Francisco rye.
Yeah.
You can hopefully find it,
I've looked recently. It's pretty hard now.
Okay, but you should be excited.
It right now.
All right, it's not George T. Stagg. It's not handy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's exactly it. Like, I think that the spirits, a lot of the other spirits that we tasted were just far more exciting than the bourbons that we were tasting, which were good. Most of them blew my head off because they were so boozy.
Oh, yeah.
And that too is just like,
I think, even in the tasting, it showed how aggressive some of these were. I even went back to some, I drank all the BTACs together and then I re-drank them for the top 50. And I thought, damn, these are a lot hotter than I recall, especially compared to like the Larceny, which is, pretty drinkable at the proof.
Yep.
The Booker's is 125, way more drinkable than, say, a George T. Stagg, which, was at 140 plus this year. And then when the price comes in, how are you even going to compare it?
Yeah, totally.
No brainer for me.
Totally.
I want to talk about my favorite, maybe one of my favorites.
Okay.
Oh, please.
I love the Oka gin.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that was such a cool gin.
Yeah, it's a cool gin.
Zach mentioned the gin from different places and that being really cool, but I think that gin was just like, we had like a Thai gin a few years ago, the Song Kai, that's Thai, right?
Yeah.
Vietnamese. That was really exceptional, and I just feel like, that one was a real standout for me this year.
Yeah, a Japanese gin, I think it's $28 in the very popular 900 ml size.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Full black bottle, like a malt liquor, so you can't even see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it's got some kind of,
Had a lot of character.
Yeah.
interesting
really neat.
botanicals, Macedonian juniper,
Right.
Himalayan juniper, and
Yeah, very interesting.
other weird things. But at $28, give it a go. You can do whatever you want with it at that price.
One of
Yeah.
the ones that was like a sleep, if we're on gins now,
Yeah.
it's a sleeper gin for me that I've used to make a lot of martinis is the Farmer's Gin, which is
Yeah.
made by the same people who make Michter's.
Yeah, exactly. Never, I guess Jen has never caught on with the taters.
No,
But,
because if it did, they should be buying the crap out of this. But
Yeah, it's
Well,
great.
it's like Wheatley vodka, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, the Farmers is a real stalwart. We're not just saying that so they send us more Michter's 20, but it's a great gin. And again, it's something you're going to find, and it works well in martinis. It works well in all gin cocktails. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff.
very cool.
You didn't talk about rum at all.
Didn't talk
You're
about
a rum guy. Come on.
I am a rum guy.
I know.
I think rum's a very exciting category. Unlike bourbon or cognac or tequila, just about every country makes rum.
That we had a Oaxacan.
We had a
rum.
Oaxacan rum.
That was so
a
awesome.
limbic,
yeah.
70%, almost like a rum agricole from
Yeah.
Oaxaca. Very cool. Foursquare was our top rum. Not the most interesting
Boo.
pick. Yeah, Foursquare's always going to make incredible stuff. 14-year-old rum, mix of Madeira and bourbon barrels. Just great stuff.
Yep.
I'm going to take that from the office if no one's taken it yet.
It's already gone.
Darby
has
took it.
I know.
We gave it to Darby. We gave it to
And then we
him.
also had
Snatch it.
a Hamden rum from Jamaica, aged in sherry barrels.
Darby has that too.
Yes. Yeah.
Son of a. Was he throwing a tiki party?
He likes rum.
I
He
like
likes
rum
rum.
too. No, those are great. And those are the ones I'd steal first too if I was stealing rum from the place. No, rum's very exciting now, and it, whatever flavor profile you like, you can find a country that probably makes something that fits your palate.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. Last thing I want to say, and I mentioned it after the tasting, but Japanese whiskey.
Yes.
And the Japanese whiskey in our top 5, the Kanosuke, the
I love
Hioki,
that.
whatever,
I
pot
love that
still.
whiskey.
Thank you for pronouncing it so I don't
That
have to.
was so good.
I loved that
And I
whiskey.
don't typically like Japanese whiskey, but I really love this
Well,
one.
this is an interesting one. I think, most people, when we think of Japanese whiskey, we exclusively think of Suntory.
Yes.
If anyone's had a Japanese whiskey, it's 99% going to be Suntory. But there's a lot of cool, smaller producers now, and Kanosuke is one of them. This is not technically a single malt because there's unmalted barley in it, pot distilled. Just very interesting, a little bit savory, not
Yeah.
too old if I recall, maybe
Yeah.
5 or 6 years old, and not too high priced either.
Yeah.
Kanosuke
Which
is
is hard to
definitely one
find
of
too,
the leaders in this
Yep.
new kind of breed of craft Japanese whiskey that's making it to America.
Cool.
Kanosuke.
Well,
yeah.
Aaron, thanks for joining us to talk about the top 50 spirits of the year.
Thanks, Aaron.
If you haven't read the article, go read it and buy some of the spirits if there's any left. Aaron sells it out when he puts it on the list.
I got to buy them all first before I sell them.
All right, and I'll talk to you on Thursday, Joanna.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Thanks so much for listening to the VinePair podcast, the flagship podcast of the VinePair Podcast Network. If you love this podcast, please leave us a rating or review wherever it is that you are currently listening to it on. It really helps other people discover the show. Also, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your colleagues. Basically, tell anyone about the VinePair podcast. It's always very appreciated, especially by Joanna. The podcast is hosted by myself, Adam Teeter, our editor-in-chief, Joanna Sherino, and Zach Jabal, sommelier, former sommelier from Seattle, Washington. As we all know, it is edited by Darby Seaside. Theme music also by Darby Seaside. Art for the podcast by Daniel Grinberg. VinePair was co-founded by myself and Josh Mallon. Thanks so much again for listening, and we will see you again the next time you listen to an episode. If you made it all the way through these credits, I again consider you a super fan.